We'll have daughters who drop out. What do we have that we cannot share? Let us meet more often and let's share strategies. Our government will do whatever is in its power to propel the well-being of girls and women by creating opportunities for advancement and self-fulfillment regardless of anybody's background, ethnic group, religious affiliation, no matter what. All girls and women matter. And on my part, I pledge to work with all committed and like-minded persons, male and female, in pursuit of justice and the true liberation of all women from injustice, from economic dependence, from deprivation, from intimidation, from marginalization, to many other obstacles. I will support my country's effort to eliminate violence in all its forms, not only physical, especially mental. We stand committed to advance women's empowerment and raise the level of gender equality. You know, the affirmative action act now beckons. We all need to make good uses of the opportunities in the supreme interest of our country, of our women in particular. I don't believe it is only a matter of counting, although that is important. The counting must go beyond the numbers and translate into effective policies, implementation plans that work, that encourage the young girls behind us to believe in themselves, to know that yes, they can. I commend our traditional authorities, especially our Queen Mothers, for the seriousness with which they carry out their mandate. Are you cool? I also call on all of us to continue to prioritize the welfare of girls and women in our communities. We are all awakening to the benefits that accrue to children, to families, to communities, and the nation when we support women to rise, reach their full potential in all spheres of life. And as I said elsewhere, every talent matters. We must accelerate our action by bringing that knowledge, the knowledge we've had. These lectures have gone on for a long time, haven't they? Hardly are we hearing anything new. So the time to act is now. I want to thank all of you for your kind attention and the time you have spent being here. Have a good afternoon.
Hello. I want us to clap for her as she descends. Please, let's continue clapping.
On behalf of Ghanaian women, the women in this room, we want to wish you our first female vice president. A happy International Women's Day, Mommy.
Am I the only one that's feeling it? I can't be the only one that's feeling this. Your Excellency, thank you. Not just for being the first, but for your commitment to shaping history every day. I see you, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Please, let's clap. We all made this happen, no? Right. If you leave me, I'll have us clap until tomorrow. Let me quickly acknowledge the presence of Madame Makafui Brempon. She's a presidential staffer. Makafui, hey. Oh, Shamima. Hi, Shamima Muslim, our deputy presidential spokesperson. Shamima, take a bow. We have also in our midst the first female president of the Ghana Bar Association, Madame Ifwa Gati. There. We also have the CEO of Maslock, Madame Abigail Elom Mensah. We also have in our midst Leonard Goba. He's British High Commissioner's Rep for Social Development and an advisor. Oh, sir, we love our he's for she's. Please stand up. Stand up and take a bow. There you are. We also have in our midst Dr. Wilfred Ochan. He's UNFPA's country rep. Sir. Oh, okay. I see you. I think it's time to acknowledge our Queen Mothers. So let me quickly call on Na Lomeki Lomo, the first divisional queen for Ada traditional area. Hello, ma. We also have Nana Ojedom Ama Chechewa, the first, Gomwa Asin traditional area. We have Nana Watri the third, Kobo Shama Traditional Council. Oh, there. We have Nanekia Asumwabia the first, Ebri Traditional Area. We have Mama Jutro the third from the Volta region. We have Dolouche Abudu the first from the Boli traditional area in Savannah. I'm sorry, I think I didn't do justice to your name. We have Mamaga Trawa the fourth, Paramount Queen Mother from the Have traditional area. We have Tim Tony Na Hajia Saratu, I stand corrected. And she is from the Dagbon Kingdom. We have Nana Adia Ampedia the second from the Bonri traditional area. We have Nana Jinchi Amwaku Odikro, a Hantan traditional area in the western region. We have Mama Atrato the third, Queen Mother of Ho Domi, Asogli State.
Thank you so much, Alma. When I say women, I want to hear you say accelerate action. Women! Women! Now you're going to say resetting the agenda. Women! Some of you don't want to see the reset. We beg. Women! Thank you so much, all of you. Her Excellency. We've waited so long to be able to say Her Excellency. First of her kind, but hopefully not the last. If there are women in here, who will be the next? Let me hear you. Thank you. My name is Nuong Falong, and I'm going to lead you through the panel discussion. We have a few fantastic women who are going to come up here and help us dissect how we will reset the agenda to accelerate action for women's development. Before we get into that, we'll take a quick musical interlude and we'll come right to it. I'll see you in a minute.
We also have Oxfam members represented. If you could just, give us a wave.
Hey, if you have forgotten already, how are we going to accelerate the action? So, Her Excellency, development partners, traditional leaders, honorables, so many of them here, I can't mention them individually, media, ladies, and I was going to say ladies and gentlemen, but on Women's Day, everyone is a woman. So, ladies and ladies, I'm just going to call my panel members to please join us up here. Dr. Latifa Mohammed. Dr. Latifa Mohammed. Honorable Joanna Jan, Member of Parliament for Amenfi Central. Nana Jenchi Amwakun. Ahanta Traditional Area, Western Region. In Kiligi Uriche, Boresa, Idisa, Jedua. Savannah Region, please. Fantastic. No, you can over there. That's fine. That's fine. Yes, please. Thank you. We have one more person. She's going to join us shortly. So I'll just go into the questions straight away, starting with Dr. Latifa, a lovely young woman, excellent young entrepreneur. There are so many young ladies sitting in the audience wondering how they can also become panel members on Women's Day. You need to speak to them. So as a young entrepreneur and a woman entrepreneur, what barriers have you recognized in your path?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. And I'm highly honored to be here on this panel at this auspicious program. Yes, my name is Dr. Latifa Mohammed, co-founder at Kodu Technology, and I also serve as the Quality Assurance Officer at Kodu Technology. And at Kodu Technology, we are into the manufacturing of safe, affordable, and eco-friendly sanitary pads to help tackle the issue of period poverty, and it is made from the fibers obtained from banana stems. Yes, there are challenges in the ecosystem, the business ecosystem as large. One of the challenge I would say everyone would agree on is the access to funding. Yes, so as a young entrepreneur like myself, starting a business usually requires a working capital. You get your capital expenditures noted down, and also technical assistance. But I think we at Kodu Technology, we were a bit fortunate to have had our seed funding from great accelerator programs such as the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge, the Circular Economy Competition, which is organized by the European Union in Ghana, as well as the UNICEF Startup Lab Accelerator. So usually the working capital is not something that we usually have access to. There is this barrier of getting the required amount that you need to set up a business, and also to scale. One, there is an increase in demand of products and services. It is required by you, the company, to produce more products and goods to satisfy the needs of your customers. But once there is this gap in funding to help you scale your production and also your team development, it creates this gap there which doesn't allow the company to realize their full potential of becoming a successful business. So I would say that lack to access funding, or lack and I would also say that there are many funding opportunities around, just that they usually come with high interest rates and also high collateral requirements, which is very difficult for a young startup like mine to provide to get these access. Another challenge is with the regulatory hurdles. Usually it's very expensive to get your certification. So I would say that that's another challenge that poses for us as young entrepreneurs like myself. Another challenge is the stigma which is attached to female-led businesses. Usually it's said that, oh, this one, the madam is the boss, she's bossy, she doesn't like people. Like a lot of assumptions around female-led businesses. So these are some of the barriers I would say that we face as young women entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Latifa. When you were talking about the stigma, I saw Honorable Joanna laughing. She knows a lot about that. I'll come back to interrogate that submission shortly. But we have another panelist joining us, Madam Peggy Ama Donko. She's a GTV channel manager. Thank you so much. Ladies, a round of applause. Thank you so much, Madam Peggy. I'll just come back to Latifa. You mentioned the access to financing as a barrier, but you also mentioned that you got lucky and you were financed by institutions such as Cosmos. How do we position ourselves to be financed by such institutions?
So with that, they run accelerator programs to support young entrepreneurs like myself. So to better position ourselves, I would like to recommend introduction of more accelerator programs which will help take in more female young entrepreneurs, and also assist them with the working capital and also their technical assistance in order to start and also grow their businesses, from ideas to bringing it to life, like ideas to life. Yes.
How do we find these accelerator programs and apply?
Okay, so usually the opportunities are found on their website. So you could just go onto their website and then look out for announcements for such accelerator programs. Usually to their shared amounts platforms where school children and also youth like myself, like a platform for us. Usually they are shared there too. Yes.
Thank you, Latifa. I'll come to you shortly. I just want to go to Madam Peggy. You're a channel manager of GTV. That's not a small job. You get to... Is it a small job? It's a big job. And from your position, you are probably able to influence your newsroom policy and some of the stories that go on air. But before you got to that chair, what did you have to overcome to get there?
Thank you. It's been 27 years now But like you said, it's not been easy. First, I'm a woman. Second, I have a special need. So that feeds into even getting there. I remember in 1999, at my interview, one panel member said, "This work is for abled people. Do you think you can do it?" Then I said, "Say, give me the opportunity. If I'm not able to do it, then you can show me the exit." And I can say confidently that GBC has not regretted employing me. The challenges start with the mindset of the people you are going to work with and your colleagues, and then the environment, architectural barriers. I remember also that in 2005, when I won the Journalist of the Year, there was a reporter from the BBC who came to do a story on me. The first question he asked was, "How are you able to maneuver around?" It took him to talk to the then director of television to create a ramp. Unfortunately, it looks like those who even created the ramp just did something for something's sake. They don't understand what that means. And I have not used that ramp. And I don't use it. I would try to use the staircase. Yes. It's not been easy, very, very difficult. So what I've done is, or I've told myself is, I'd rather do stories that will not send me to places where we have long staircases. So I'm a rural reporter. I've done all 16 regions in Ghana, and I'm not sure some of my colleagues have done that. Today, I can confidently say that I know all the regions in Ghana, and my stories are normally about women and children, the vulnerable. I am the voice of the voiceless. And when it comes to education, or when I tried furthering my education, getting scholarship was an issue. It took then President Prof at the award ceremony to instruct someone to help. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because these are some of the challenges persons with special needs encounter. An able person goes and gets sponsorship. Meanwhile, the person who rather needs, in quotes, would not. So, but for the fact that I had that opportunity, I'm not sure I'll be a channel manager by now. So it boils down to the intentionality of it. As the lead said, we've done talking over and over again. Now it's time for action. Most people think is that those you think know better, educated ones who should know that you should help those who frustrate you. Because in our mind, based on traditional beliefs, to use an Akan or an Ashanti word, like we say, Bafine, which means a half human being. So if you don't have a leader who understands your situation and thinks that you should be given the opportunity, it becomes a challenge. So the intentionality of all of us will help women and children with disabilities to rise to the occasion. When it comes to decision making, because I am part of management, I have over the years chipped in programs here and there to help. Sometimes reporters are not comfortable covering stories involving persons with disabilities or persons with special needs. But because I am there, I take it upon myself. So the journey has not been easy. If persons with special needs will not give up, then I know they can sail through like I have done. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Before I let you off, I just wanted you to speak to cultural barriers. You've mentioned some social issues at the workplace, the kind of perceptions people have. What cultural issues have you encountered covering 16 regions, especially towards persons with disabilities?
Thank you. Personally, culturally, I've not encountered anything. I think that once you go out to the regions and they know you are from GBC, then it gives you a leeway. But I will plead with our traditional authorities to organize or create the awareness. Disability can be anybody's lot at any time. I will use a classical, two examples. The former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Intumi, we all know him. After his chairmanship, he went for a surgery and then he was confined in a wheelchair for 15 years before he passed. President Kufuor is now in a wheelchair. Disability can be anybody's lot at any time. So if we are able to create the awareness by organizing debates and educating people about issues or challenges of persons with disability, I am sure that all of us will get to understand. Education and awareness creation is what we need as a people, and again, the mindset. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peggy. Nana Genti, I'm just going to come to you to add to what she has begun about traditional leaders contributing to the advancements. How can traditional institutions ensure that life is easier for a woman, life is easier for women with disabilities?
Hello, good afternoon. I'll answer your question. Permit me and just indulge me to use 2 minutes to give some narrative. Something happened on 6th of March this year. After the March past, we all went, celebrated, and we went to sleep. 2 days we are gathered here. But something happened which has brought hope across the country. You've not taken notice of that. I have. And that is coming from the person of His Excellency the Vice President. I will explain. She has received a lot of applause, and I'm going to add more this time around. So, her person, her modesty, is a symbol of empowerment of women across the country. Her simplicity is also an empowerment, or a symbol of empowerment of all women and girls across the country. And not last but not the least, her prudence, management of resources. And I'm coming to, and I think by now you know where I'm getting to. For the first time in this country, celebration of 6 March, and for the first time in this country, having a vice president as a woman, we're able to make savings. In fact, we didn't even know how much it costs. We didn't know. You know, when we were boys, Accra Academy, we go and march At the end of the day, they give us ice cream, we'll go. And I have witnessed about 50 march passes. We didn't know how much it cost the nation, not knowing every time we go and gather at the Independence Square or elsewhere, we are paying dearly for it. But for the first time, we have seen and known that as a woman vice president, and by prudent management of their resources, we have been able to cut back the spend by 95%. Madam, Your Excellency, well done. And at this time, I will just rise and please help me to rise and then give her the last applause she needs. Thank you.
The applause is not loud enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This act has brought hope to the youth out there and women in Ghana and even Africa. Thank you very much. God bless you. I thank you for. So, to your question, and before I answer that again, let me make some fundamental, basic fundamental thing before I. Yes. When we talk about women empowerment, it is felt in the cities, so the urban, cosmopolitan areas. That's why you see women empowerment, career women, driving cars and managers and so on and so on. If you come to the rural areas, it is not visible enough. That empowerment regime is not visible enough. Government is doing more. We traditional rulers, we are working in partnership with the civil society organizations, advocacy group. We are doing very well, but more has to be done. I will touch on sexual violence and ownership rights of women. I'll give examples to illustrate what I'm saying. Once upon a time, this man and woman, wife, in the night, we are having an adult conversation, right? The woman decided to block the road, that he wouldn't let the husband pass. So anger and the whole thing fled into fighting and, neighbors, and then the man, just beat the wife up just because of, not allowing him to have his passage. So in the morning, the woman just rushed to the police station and reported the matter to the police. The man was arrested, detained. And around 9 a.m., I saw this one with the mother and other two, natives of the village. They came to me. Nana, look at what my daughter has done. He has had some quarrel with the husband, and she has gone to report the husband to the police. As the man is in jail, who is going to take care of the children? You can see the woman, she's beating, swollen and so on. I decided to let the police punish this man. But on the other side, if you allow the man to go through the prosecution process, and he'll go to jail, and we'll come back to who will take care of the children, who will take care of the home. So what I'm saying is that sometimes with the empowerment, it is not legislative to bring the change. It is about education, dialogue, understanding. What I did was that I asked that the man be bailed. She was bailed. He was brought to the palace. We had a discussion. The woman was there. The wife was there. We amicably settled the matter. And gracefully, in some months' time, I could see the woman. The woman was pregnant. So no problem again, isn't it? So it is not only always legislative to correct something for women to be empowered. It is through education. And that education should be very rigorous and should be, just be hit hard on the rural areas for the change and empowerment of women to come. Ownership rights of women. There's an adage that, and I'm going to speak in Fanti. I say, Besiato etura or chunbayini dem to wit when a woman buys a rifle, she keeps it in the room of the man. She having her money, going to buy the rifle, she has no right to keep it in her room. But you got to keep it in the room of the man. What it means is that the right of the man to own property always runs superior to that of the woman. So you can see, when women want, maybe they want some property, land, to farm or something, hardly would they come alone. They will come with a man. If not the husband, maybe another man of the. But on the other hand, men will come and ask for land without accompaniment of a woman. So you see the disparity. So these are some of the things that but on our own, we think that it is not always legislation. Let's make the education the focal point, and then we educate the rural folk. And then I think with time, we're able to come over, and then our rural women will be highly empowered.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Nana. Change. Thank you so much. I'll just move to Honorable Joanna Jan. We have a woman vice president. You are a member of parliament, but we still have women underrepresented in politics. How can we ensure that we have more women bold enough to stand up and involve themselves in politics?
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to the organizers of the program, and also Happy Women's Day to our President, Vice President, and then my colleagues, MPs, and Senior Council of State, and then also the Minister of State. My name is Joanna Jan Kujo. I'm MP for Amenfi Central. I still believe that women has been always misrepresented, because if you look at the leadership role in terms of business and politics, we don't have much women there. And then always you see in terms of business, you always see the men always leading in terms of the CEO position, managing director, head of operations, and things like that. And these are the people who are top executives in the business. So when women are not part of the decision making, when women are not involved in many things you do, it's very difficult for them to give them their 100% in everything you do. So in terms of leadership, I believe that it would be very great to empower women to take a leadership role in terms of politics and the business. For instance, when you come to Parliament today, now we have about 40 women members of Parliament, which is very good thing, and I'm happy our Vice President is a woman. And I'm sure some of the women out there are happy because they believe that having a first female Vice President has also empowered and encouraged some of the women. If you look at my case, for instance, when I was going for my primaries, since 92, this is the first time a woman standing an MP in Amenfi Central. So when I posted my flyer on social media, and then everyone was calling, "Are you sure you can do it? I don't think you can do this. They're going to bully you. Stop, don't go." I said, "I'm going." So I believe that the courage that I have, it didn't come from me alone, but because I also saw other women in Parliament, and I said, if they can do it, why can't I do the same? So in politics, in Parliament now, you see a lot of women are coming, even though we have 40 now compared to the previous 8th Parliament and compared to 9th Parliament. Now we are coming, but not too much. So I believe that if we can, political parties will be able to encourage the women to give them a role where they can actually become a member of Parliament in a particular constituency. They think that they can win and invest in them. It will be very great.
Thank you. Thank you. The first woman MP from your constituency. Wow. Please give her another round of applause for that. And what's going to happen now, after you, the other women in your constituency will realize that they can also do it, and they will also be encouraged to do it. But after you become a member of parliament, how do we give platforms for members of parliament to be able to advance themselves?
I think if we're able to allow them to invest themselves or invest in the women, especially giving a lot of education and trainings, because mostly you see women gathering somewhere, you go to a salon to have a chat, and we are talking about how you can do shopping, you can do this, but because there's no one really bringing them together and say, hey, you can actually do this. Can you see our first female vice president? You know that she's able to do it. When we have a training places where we can have a seminars to be able to educate people, to let them understand, because people need to have mentorship to be able to understand, even realize their dream, to know who they are and where they are coming from and what they stand for. So I think you should do more advocating for making sure promoting women where women know that they can also do it. In terms of education, there's a lot, even though a lot of people are now having their career trying to do a lot of things, but I feel that if you're able to give them scholarships and giving them opportunity to study abroad and come back to their country to, do a lot of things together. So there's so much we can do to be able to help the women understanding that you should do it, but not by bullying us and making us feel like you're a woman so you can't be a decision maker. If we're able to involve ourselves in talks, even drafting the policies in the politics and other things in other areas, right, then they know that we'll be able to do this. So that is why I feel that the training and other things will be able to help.
Thank you, Honorable Joanna Jan. We'll just move on to Nklije Burche. As a queen, when you look at our Ghanaian societies, how do we make queen mothers more visible and position them as agents of change within their communities?
Thank you very much. I am so honored to be here. Before I speak, kindly permit me pay homage to my king, the king of the Yagungunja Kingdom, the Savannah region, Jira Yagbungura Bikunuto Jeusoli Sususu Medese. I am very happy to be here once again, and this room is filled with a lot of my mentors. To have my mentor, Mama Jifa Gomasho, listen to me speak, to have Hajazura look at me, Madam Joyce Bauer just stepped out. I think I feel so honored to be here. Queen mothers have played very critical roles in terms of development, even in time past. It was after the colonial masters came in that they began to deal with the kings or the chiefs that made the Queen Mother's rule a bit setback. But yes, all in all, Queen Mothers have done amazing jobs across Ghana. And all the Queen Mothers, they were carefully selected because they are championing a lot of advocacy issues in their communities, from teenage pregnancies to child marriages to witchcraft accusations. What have you? They've done a lot in that regard. I think that for Queen Mothers to be able to do more, I think Queen Mothers epitomize femininity. They epitomize our culture. They epitomize knowledge and wisdom. But they have been limited recognition and legitimacy. And that is what is leading to our being or feeling excluded. Could we have discussions around documenting Queen Mother stories? We grew up to hear about the Asantua and what she did for the Ashanti Kingdom. In our present day Ghana, there are Queen Mothers who are doing amazing and fantastic. There is one with us here, Naana, who is an ADR expert. She's adjudicating a lot of cases, from marriage cases to divorce cases, here in Accra and Tema, and she's doing amazing. Somebody like Kansa Uche a female queen mother who owns the first female hospital or clinic in Savannah region, where she's handling issues of child mortality and mother mortality. So if you can have platforms to document success stories of queen mothers across board, that would serve as enough motivation to other queen mothers to emulate, and also to the girl child who look up onto us as custodians of our culture.
Thank you so much, Queen Boressa. I would love to do another round of questions, but we are so pressed for time that I'll throw some 2 questions to the audience, and then I'll take a few questions from them that you can speak to. Do we have Madame Efuagate, President of the Ghana Bar Association? Is she in here? Thank you. Thank you so much. Please give her a round of applause to a woman who is a change agent in her area of expertise. Madam Gati, listening to all the submissions they've made, from a legal perspective, how can the law help women to improve their lot?
Thank you very much for the question. Madam Vice President, if I may speak. The law, which is the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 1121, that is the number, is a 2024 act which was passed in July and assented to in September. Now, that act has very copious provisions which are helpful to the cause that we are fighting now. That act ensures that in all spheres, economic, social, political, and our educational area, there are carefully crafted strategies that ought to be implemented. Now, it starts with ensuring that the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection sets up a committee, a 13-member committee, which is supposed to roll out some of these strategies. What I like is that the Act touches on public service, it touches on the judiciary, it touches on security services, it touches on various areas, including even the private sector. And that act also has sanctions, which is interesting, so that assuming that you do not ensure that you live by the dictates of the act, there are sanctions there. And then we move to the schedule of the act, which ensures that it's given you guidelines which ought to be followed. And these guidelines, some of the things that we are talking about, for instance, education, we are talking about scholarships. Now it is in the act. Politics, we are talking about numbers. Now it is in the act. Health issues, which were touched on by the Vice President, is in the act. So if we all resolve that we would ensure that the act actually is actualized, then I believe that we are going to see a different Ghana. It's true that we have in various ways attained gender parity, because there have been some laws which have guided us. But now we have one which encompasses all the efforts that have been made in the past. And what I like about the law is that it gives you a timetable to see how gender parity will be actualized. So in a certain number of years, we are supposed to get to 30%, we are supposed to get to 35%, and ultimately 50%. Then we know that we have legislation that is enabling. So I trust that the minister in charge would activate all the things in the act, including the regulations, and then we'll be in a good space. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please don't sit down yet. Thankfully, the Honorable Minister is right here of gender. I have a question that I would just like to ask you. Someone sent me a question saying, how do women without